All right, let's get into today's shoulder workout. I bring to you first my warm up. A lot of people do not take the warm up seriously. The warm up is what you need to do before you actually get into heavy lifting. You see a lot of guys after a while, they start having shoulder problems, rotator cuff injuries because they don't warm up the shoulder before getting into the actual working sets of the actual exercises. I bring to you a lot of moves. This is one of my warm ups, one of my very different warm ups that I do, so that you can see how I actually warm up into the shoulder exercise or any exercise. And before I actually get into the working sets, it's very important that you do multiple exercises to warm up the shoulders, both front and back, lateral head, medial head, and the rear head. In your anterior head of the shoulders. Of course, you warm up those traps as well because you also work the traps when you get into shoulder workouts, back workouts. You want to keep healthy. You want to keep and maintain healthy shoulders as you get older. These are a few different moves that you want to try. It's a 5 to 6 minute warm up. Of course, I do it repeatedly twice, but with every set is a different exercise. So when you get into the second round of this warm up, you'll see that I'll be doing something totally different within the moves. Some of the moves stay the same, but a couple moves you'll see are different. And I really stress warming up the muscles before training them. Don't just jump into exercising. Resistance bands are a staple for training and for warming up for finishers. People that want to work out at home that don't have weights, resistance bands are great for that as well. But I usually start with resistance bands to, really get the pump going, get the blood restriction, the blood flow going in those areas that I'm training before I get into a stretch, before I get into my working sets. You'll see this. And it's very normal to use resistance bands during training, but I also don't neglect to not use it during your warm up. All right, now we go back to the top, and you'll see a few moves is different for the second round that I didn't do in the first round, and it's really just a complete overall shoulder, traps, back warm up. I think it's please, I'm asking you, don't do it. I know some people, they warm up as they get into the exercising, and the muscles are still cold, but then you're trying to lift all this weight, and then all of a sudden, when your shoulders start hurting, and you start having problems, then you don't understand why. Then the doctor make you sit out for a month or maybe two, and you lose all that, mass gain that you just put on because you didn't want to warm up the body. All right, still part of the warm up. Now I add a little weight to it. Just use the barbell. That's all you really need. Still going rounds, maybe 20 to 30 seconds for each move before I actually get into your working sets. I am a firm believer in starting to add resistance, add weight. So this is what I do before I actually get into to my actual working sets. Just doing different moves with the bar, just to continue to warm up the shoulders and really get the blood flow going in those areas. All right, so now I'm into my working sets. First exercise I always do is something different. This is a seated push press, mainly hitting your front and your lateral heads. This was a 5 to 6 set exercise. First set was 12 to 15, then I did 12, then it was 10, 2 sets of 8, and then I went back to 12, and then I did a set of 15 for the burnout, which I will show you the last exercise to show you the burnout exercise. Heavy weight. Now I'm gonna show you the burnout exercise. I went heavier as my reps went down. Now I lightened up the load to 100 pounds, and I did a set of 15 fast reps, still with a nice tempo to it. This is very good before moving to the next exercise. So this is what I wanted to really emphasize: heavy, and then go for a burnout, and then move on to the next exercise. Now we move into the anterior head of the deltoid. I use the plate raise. Plate raise, you can use a dumbbell, you can use a kettlebell, you can use the rope, you can use a V-bar. There's different things you could use. I like the plate because it really helps me to engage my core, as well as working on the anterior head of the deltoid. 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps, and really go after it. Then again, for this particular shoulder exercise, I always do a burnout before moving on to the next exercise. So I use the bar to get a quick 15 to 20 rep in before I move on to the next exercise. This is really good to always burn out at the end of your 4 to 5 sets, or if you do 4 to 6 sets of heavy, always do a burnout with a lightweight, and you'll really see the work in the. Now moving on to your medial head slash a little bit of rear delt slash a little bit of trap work inside this. Notice me pulling it through my leg. So by me pulling it through my leg allows me to really focus on the rear delt and the trap, as well as the medial head, without putting the interior head into it. This is great. People don't really use this, but please, I recommend you add it into it. 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps, and you can go heavy, you can go light, but you allow this to really focus on the rear head and your trap, that upper back part, to really bring out a full shoulder look that you really want. Now I jump into my superset, a lateral raise to work on the medial head of the deltoid, and then I'm gonna jump straight into my dumbbell press, a seated dumbbell press to really hit this that medial head, lateral head like I really want to. By keeping the pressure on, I did 4 sets of 12 for the standing lateral raise, and I'm gonna do a heavy 4 sets of 8. As soon as I jump off, I jump straight into these. I'm showing you my third set so you can really see that I'm getting after it. Little struggle to it. It's not easy, and you really want to burn those shoulders out and really get those shoulders, them shoulder boulders that you want. So my last exercise, I'm gonna bring to you a chest supported dumbbell face pull. A lot of people do this exercise with the rope, and they do rope face pulls, or they'll do an upright row to work to finish off to hit all 3 heads of the deltoid. But I'm bringing you a chest supported dumbbell face pull to really bring out that shoulder definition the way you want to. And I do 4 to 5 sets of 15 reps. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of my video.